Hi, Miss W again. I'm going to continue on with the equation of a circle. Remember your formula, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. So here I don't have a center of 0, but I'm still going to use this as my h value and my k value. So I'm going to move it down here so I have more room. So plugging these numbers in, x minus 13 over 2 squared plus y minus 2 radical 17 squared equals my radius of 6 squared. Okay, so all this is asking me to do is find the equation of the circle. So if I can replace the 6 squared with 36, you can see that I have, let me double check, make sure I get the right one, the answer is B. Okay, so moving right along here, let's find something else to do, maybe a little bit more challenging. So all you're doing is finding the equation of a circle, and that's what you'll be assessed on. I want to get to something that looks totally weird, and this is where you have to be reminded of completing the square. So I'm going to do solve these using completing the square. I'm going to do 2 of them. However, completing the square, if you need a review, there's 2 videos online. And remember, you can always come to the Zoom session or ask me questions. So I'm going to start with 31 here. So looking at 31, I need to find the equation of a circle. Now remember, my equation of a circle, again the formula, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals my radius squared. Okay, so when I'm looking here, I have to reorder this. So I'm going to get my x's together, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my y's together. Okay, so let's start with my x's. So let me come over here. So I have x squared plus 26x. Now, if you're completing the square, so I've used that and I've used that, you're going to add something to it. So I'm going to leave a blank, and then I'm going to do the same with my y's. I have y squared plus 4y, and I'm going to add something to it. Oops, I did not mean to put that parenthesis there. Plus 4y plus something, and I'm going to add that something. And on the other side, I ran out of room. I'm going to take my radius, which I don't know yet, so I'm going to use my 141. I'm going to take it to the other side of the equation. So minus 141. So moving this down here while I have a little bit more room, x squared plus something. So when you want to find the value of this right here, you take half of what the value with your x. So 26 divided by 2 is 13. And then you take 13 and you square it. And I'm opening up Desmos real quick on my computer here. So 13 squared is 169. So I'm going to add a 169 here. So you take half of the x value, and then you square that to get what you add. If I add it to this side of the equation, I'm going to have to add it to the other side of the equation as well. So doing that, now I'm going to do my y. So I have y squared. I'm going to take the value with the y and divide it by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then I square it. So I have a 4. If I add 4 to this side, I have to add 4 to that side. The reason I did completing the square is so I can factor it like this. Let me go back to my color coding, sorry. My x values, I'm going to take an x and this symbol here plus what is the square root of 169? Well, that's 13, or half of your b over here, squared. So this factors to that. That's why we do complete the square. So my y value, I'm going to, the square root of y, or the square root of y squared is y, plus I take this value here, and the square root of 4 is 2, squared. So I have that I'm gonna get rid of this part. So I have that part done, and then my other side, I'm going to combine. So I'm gonna combine negative 141. So negative 141 plus 169 plus 4. That equals 32. So on this side of the equation, I now have 32. So looking at my answer choices, because I am just making an equation of a circle, I can see that the answer would be letter C. Let me do one more of those, because that's a lot to take in. So again, I'm going for the format x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals my radius squared. So looking at this value here, I'm going to combine my x's in one parenthesis. So I have x squared minus 6x. And remember, I'm going to add something to it because I'm completing the square. So I'm going to leave that blank for right now. Plus, now I'm going to do my y's. I've got y squared plus a 26y plus something, a little bit more smaller, 26y plus something equals 162. And a negative 162, I took that to the other side. So now, what do? I need to get my missing numbers here. So I'm going to ignore that minus right now. I have 6, half of 6 is 3, and you square it, so I'm going to add 9. So that means I have to add 9 to the other side as well. Then I take my 26, half of 26 is 13, and I square it, which is 169. So I have to add 169 over here as well. So remember, this is a minus 162. So why did I factor it like that? Let me get my numbers here. 162 plus 9 plus 169. Okay. I did that so I can factor this completing the square. So you take the square root of x squared, which is x, whatever symbol is here, and the square root of 9, which is 3, plus square root of y, which is y, whatever symbol's there, plus the square root of 169, which is 13, squared equals negative 162 plus 9 plus 169 is 16. So looking at your answer choices, you can see you want to watch your signs though, because remember, this is a minus right here and a plus right here. So I'm looking for a minus right here and a plus in 16. So there it is, letter choice A. Email me screenshots if you need.